T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff. Welcome to Sport Weasel Central. I'm Lugs.
I'm J-Boy.
I'm T-Dog.
Yes, sir. Summertime and the living is easy here at Sports and Other Stuff. You know, fellas, it's so hot, you can't make a chili dog right now. That's how hot it is. Here's what we have on this program. It gets worse. Look out, the Big Ten just got a whole lot bigger. The prediction machine is back up and running tonight. We're going to talk about the AFC North. And in the other stuff department, our favorite coach speak. You'll want to stay tuned to that. But first, let's kick it off with the AFC North last year. The Bengals were 10-7, the Steelers 9-7-1, the Browns 8-9, and the Ravens 8-9. How about this coming year? Well, that's what our job is. So, Lugs, let's start with you. AFC Norte, the North.
Yeah, you've got several teams that are really neck and neck in this one. I wanted to go for the Bengals at the top spot, but I'm going to have to go with the Ravens. I think the Ravens, hopefully they've recovered from all their injuries. I've never seen a team riddled the way they have. And Lamar is going to be playing for the money this year. This is the contract time when he's going to get the money. So, and they've got everybody looking fairly healthy. So I'm going to go with the Ravens at the top. And I'm saying 10-7.
All right. I don't think I expected that. How about you, T-Dog? Take it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. With the Ravens, I like the Ravens just like Lugs, but I am
not at number one though.
No, I don't have him at number one.
Yeah.
And the main reason is this. I'll start with the Ravens since that's what he has. I have them as the number 2 team at the end of the year once we get through the season. They have the strength of this team is their secondary. And 2 of the guys were, like Lug said, we talk about injuries. Marcus Peters, he was out the whole season. Since he entered the league, he's the best ball hawk in the league. And just getting turnovers and flipping the field for his team, be it the Ravens or the Chiefs. And Marlon Humphreys, he played a lot. He played during the season, but he wasn't himself. And then he is probably one of the best all around corners in the league. And they ask him to do a lot. Like he'll have to play outside. He'll have to play slot against premier wide receivers who get moved around the formation. So he's one of the best. They signed Marcus Williams from the Saints to solidify their safeties. And Chuck Clark is the other safety. He's a leader of the group. He gets everyone in formation. But also their first draft pick was Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame. And that gives them a movable chess piece that they can use in coverage to help on the run support. But particularly, I think he's going to be used as a pass rusher just to give them an extra element. You look at their wide receivers. I mean, losing Hollywood Brown, I think is a loss. I mean, they can spin it however they want, but I mean, he gave them cushion because obviously they're a team that likes to run the ball. He if they played too close to the line of scrimmage, he could beat them deep. He could make them pay. They currently don't have a guy, I think, that can do that. Rashad Bateman from the University of Minnesota, I like him a lot, but he's going to have to grow up quick in his second year to really help them be able to attack teams through the air. I have them 11-6. I agree with Lugs. They're going to be motivated because Lamar's looking for a new contract. I mean, they barely missed the playoffs. They were 8-4 before Lamar got injured, and they lost every game after that. And that was even before, the preseason. They lost their top 2 running backs. They lost Marcus Peters. Stanley, who they paid a huge amount of money to, their left tackle, he missed all the year. If they stay healthy, in addition, also Mike McDonald, he's their new defensive coordinator. He helped out Jim in Michigan. He was able to help Michigan finally beat Ohio State. He was plucked from the Ravens. The Ravens repluck Mike McDonald. So I think he could make a big difference for John now. So I have them at 11-6. I have them making the playoffs, but just short of the Bengals.
So Lamar, is he still representing himself? He doesn't have an agent yet, right? He's still working that angle, or did he change it up?
The last I heard, he and his mom were working his contracts.
He's still representing himself, yes. And the crazy thing is, people will be like, Ravens pay the man. They want to pay him. Like, he doesn't want to go to the table. So it's really on Lamar's side. I think he's trying to do the Kirk Cousins thing, where obviously his ceilings maybe are higher than Kirk Cousins, where Kirk Cousins had those.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
I knew we were going to get that in there. Yeah. I knew that was coming.
But I was just saying, where he was on those franchise tags and he kept getting paid big money year after year. I think Lamar is doing that to a degree. I don't know. It's very interesting.
So, Dog, you got them at number 2 in the North, you're saying?
Yes, 11-6.
Lugs has them as number 1. Lugs, gosh, who do you have as number 2 then? Let me guess, but go ahead.
I have the Bengals.
Aha.
They've improved a lot of things, but their schedule to me is tough. It's tough. Last year, I'm gonna eat crow forever with your boy from LSU, because I wasn't that impressed with him in college, but I got to give it to him.
True.
He carried that team last year, but their opponents coming up looks like they have the 7th hardest schedule, and they're going to be getting some new players into the system. I'm projecting them 9-8. 9-8 is all I'm giving the Bengals.
Whoa!
What the?
Wow!
Didn't they go to the Super Bowl, T-Dog, or did I go into a time warp and it was the old Bengals? I don't know. What am I missing here?
Listen, I understand they went 10-7 last year, but
they did.
I think this is my main thing. Where I'll spin it the other way. Burrow will be better this year because I think some of in the offseason they upgraded their offensive line with talent, not only with talent, but also it gives them more depth. He's going to have more chemistry with his skill guys. I mean, he already had chemistry with Jamar Chase going back to LSU, but he's just going to have another offseason to work on that, and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. And also it's an offseason where he's not rehabbing. So all that time that was spent rehabbing, he now can just focus on his game and getting better communication and getting more in sync with everyone on his team. So I just think those are big boons. And, their defense, I think, can be dangerous, because I think one of the things they really did last year is they got really good in the back half of the year because they really knew how to use their secondary. And you look at how they drafted Dax Hill and they drafted Cam Taylor-Britt. Both guys can play corner. Both guys can play safety. So it gives them these movable chess pieces where, again, teams are going to be confused. I think they're going to try out, 3 safeties at a time because those guys can line up in the slot, and it's going to confuse quarterbacks. So, I mean, I just look at their strength. I mean, Chase Higgins and Boyd, all those guys have had 1,000 yards receiving. I know Chase has only played 1 year, but Chase is already possibly a top 3 wide receiver. I mean, if you want to make a case he's the best, I think you could make a case. Just because of how explosive he is. Higgins gives them, just a big body who can ISO guys and just like get back shoulders all day. And Tyler Boyd is, and again, this is a compliment. I know some people think it's a shot. He's the perfect chain mover because he has sticky hands and he's always going to get past where the first down marker is and convert. This is how strong this team is. Their weakness is linebacker. Logan Wilson, I think, has really emerged as a playmaker. So even their quote unquote weakness, I think they still, and Jermaine Pratt is, I guess, quote unquote, the weakness of this weakness, the linebackers, but I think he's a good player. I just think this is his last season with Cincinnati. They're going to look to upgrade. I have them going 12-5. I have them winning the North.
All right. Well, a couple of things. So just a note, historically, teams that have lost the Super Bowl the previous year have struggled to bounce back. And Cincinnati will try this trend to buck that trend, but they're also going to have one of the more difficult schedules in the NFL. So 12-5 is impressive. Over under, I think says they're going to have like 10 wins, maybe 9.5.
I would take the over. Looking at some of these other teams, and again, I like Baltimore and I like Lamar, and I know Lamar won the MVP. I just feel at this point, Joe Burrow's a better quarterback. So if you're asking me, gun to my head, who do I trust more? I trust Joe Burrow.
Okay, hey, Lugs, you used to have, I think, what they call sticky hands. Was that from eating all those Clark bars, or did I?
Cinnabon, baby.
Cinnabon. I knew it was one of those places in the mall. All right, who do you got next in the AFC North?
I have the Cleveland Browns.
All right.
Given with all the craziness surrounding Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, I'm Xing them out both for the year. Neither one will play this season in the NFL, I don't believe. So they have Jacoby Brissett, and he's a solid player. I just don't think that he's quite up to taking on some of the teams that they have to play. Although their schedule is, right off the bat, off the top, they face Panthers, Jets, Steelers, and Falcons. So they should be at the very least 3-1, probably 4-0. So anyway, I'm projecting these boys 9-8.
So a virtual tie with the Bengals, huh?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Man, he's rough, isn't he? He's rough.
Man, saying Jacoby Brissett, who, again, I like Jacoby Brissett, but Jacoby Brissett at this point, I think is a good backup who, in this scenario, feels like he's going to be forced to be a starter the whole year. You're saying he's going to have the same record as Joe Burrow.
Wait, and Brissett.
Well, see, I see the football as a team sport.
It is a team sport, but look, to be fair to your point, look, if we're going to compare the two teams, which I will give the advantage to Cleveland on a few things. O-line. Browns have a better O-line than the Bengals. Running backs.
Better defensive line. They've got a better.
Defensive line and secondary. The strength of the Browns are their secondary. Denzel Ward is one of the best corners in the league, just flat out. And he got paid that way. Greg Newsome, he's a second-year player out of Northwestern. He's a star on the rise. John Johnson, he's a leader at safety. And then they brought in Ronnie Harrison is just an absolute eraser at safety. He doesn't miss tackles. And then listen to this depth. This is the depth they have. Like guys who aren't even projected to be quote-unquote starters for their secondary. They have Grant Delpit, Greedy Williams, and Martin Emerson. I think they without a doubt have the deepest secondary. And then to be fair to what you're saying, yes, their defensive line, the Bengals do not have a Myles Garrett. They don't. But you look at the receiver core of the Browns. Look, outside of Amari, who they were able to trade for, look, and again, I think we all like this rookie, but the group is unproven or uninspiring. I like David Bell. I think he's a great technician, but that's how he's going to win as a technician. He's not a great athlete. On the flip side, you have Donovan Peoples-Jones, who's a talent that I don't think will ever unlock his potential. That's who you have catching the balls for Jacoby Brissett, who, like I said, I think is talented, but at this point is just mainly going to be a backup. I have them going 6-11. I have them as a fourth team in this division.
Wow, 6-11. Wow. Okay. What year was it when Brissett backed up the Colts because what's his name went down? What year was that? He got a lot of snaps. That's just years.
It's not he went down. No, this is when Luck retired.
Oh, retired. Sorry. Well, it's all.
He retired during the preseason.
Okay, that's right. And how did he do? He did all right?
He played well, but and again, I don't think he's not going to ever admit it. I want to say, if you kind of look how he played, to a point, he got injured. I don't think he ever got into specifics of his injury. His play fell off, and people could be like, they figured him out. I don't think they figured him out. I just think he wasn't 100%. I think he knows this was one of his only shots possible to be a starter, so he tried to play through it. Kind of like what happened with Baker Mayfield last year.
Yeah.
Baker tried to play through injuries, and again, you can credit him for trying to play through it, but he was shot. Baker was. So I feel the same thing really was what happened to Jacoby Brissett when he started for Indy.
So bring on Chase Daniel. Where's that guy this year? All right, well, let's let that go.